Hope is being able to look a family in the eyes and say, I know things have been tough, but don't give up yet. We are here for you.
Good morning, everyone, and I just want to thank you for tuning in today because your presence here will make such a difference. I'm Mark Curtis from 12 News, and I'm standing here in the kitchen of St. Vincent de Paul, and I wish you could smell what I smell. It's sort of like, do you remember going in your grandmother's kitchen? That smell of spices and good food cooking? And the one thing that you couldn't smell, but that was always there, was comfort and hope. And that's what this kitchen provides every single day. The pandemic has hit us all in some ways in 2020. But despite that, and despite the economic hardships, which maybe some of you have felt this year, I hope you haven't, but maybe you have. Despite that, this kitchen is still cranking out 4,000 meals a day, every day, 365 days a year, no matter what. And it's been happening here for 70 years. Imagine that. How does it happen? It happens with generosity, your generosity. Normally, we'd be talking from the Phoenician Ballroom, but of course this year, as I mentioned, has been unlike any other year because of the pandemic, because of social distancing. And I hope and pray that as you watch this morning, that all of you and all of your families are safe and healthy from the pandemic. And if you have been affected by it, I pray for a quick recovery for you and for yours. But this place, this mission has to go on, and it can't go on without your help. And this year is especially tough because of what we've all been through financially and economically. The uncertainty has hit us all in one way or the other. And people say, well, why do you, Mark, continue to come down here? And the reason is very selfish. Because it makes me feel better. Every night on 12 News, we try to bring good stories, but ultimately we talk about death and we talk about destruction and sorrow and hardship. Some of it caused by the pandemic and other things that just happen with life, terrorism and all of the bad things that happen in life. And the one good thing that I can do for myself, and you wouldn't be watching this if you weren't along with me for this ride, is to help organizations like St. Vincent de Paul to reach down and do whatever you can. It doesn't take a lot. It takes a lot of people doing a little that can make all the difference. So Steve, here we are once again at the time of the year that we start thinking so much about the people in need. And yet the whole country has gone through this dramatic seismic change starting in March. And I'm wondering how it affected St. Vincent de Paul and the great things that you do down here.
We never imagined a scenario, Mark, where literally everything would change overnight. And yet we still had to be here to serve the community's needs. When you look at our dining room, for example, these are crowded places, a lot of people, a lot of energy, a lot of motion. And all of a sudden, people couldn't go inside. Our guests couldn't go inside. Our volunteers couldn't go inside. During the summer, it's 100 degrees, 110, 115 degrees outside. That creates a whole new set of challenges. So we built tents, we brought in coolers. But when you don't have volunteers in the kitchen preparing food, when you don't have people who can be close to one another, you have to wear masks, you have to social distance. It was a challenge that was unprecedented. We didn't have 24 days or 24 weeks to figure this out. We literally had to do it in 24 hours.
And it's a tough job in a good year, but especially in 2020, how were you able to keep it going?
Well, it was tough. You're right. You take our thrift stores, for example, and they generate a lot of revenue for what we do to help fund our different programs. And all of a sudden, they're closed for months. And yet we still have to buy the food, pay the rent, pay the utilities, all of the things, the employees, the supplies. It was a real challenge for us.
How are things going now?
Well, things are better. We've been able to partner with our restaurants. We have 17 of them who have been very helpful to us. These are restaurants that were going to really struggle. I mean, many of them, frankly, may not have been in business. And yet we came to them and we said, we're going to buy your food and you're going to feed the people in our dining rooms. And so we helped them. They helped feed the people in our dining rooms. It was truly a win-win-win for everyone.
It says so much about our community, I think. Sherilyn, you're out there on the front lines every day, all the time. It speaks about the big heart that you have. What are you seeing?
Well, we're seeing now a new profile of people who are seeking assistance. They are husbands and wives, mothers and fathers, just much as we are, Mark. They've been independent and self-sufficient during their adult years, never had to ask for assistance before, and they really don't know where to turn.
These are unbelievable times. We are all together in the fact that we're sailing these uncharted waters. And with that said, how do you give families hope? How are you able to provide that hope that all of them need so much?
We know that families need us now more than ever before. And it is on us, it behooves us to reach out, to be consistent, to go that extra mile to make sure that we can give them hope. We recently served a family that relocated here from another location before the pandemic. The father's company transferred him here, and mom was a stay-at-home. She did telephone sales. Life was good for them. They had a stable life, even through the pandemic. And then there was a fire in their apartment complex, and their apartment was burned out. They lost everything. So like many of us, they tried to do it alone. They depleted their savings and found themselves living in their car with 2 young children in an Arizona summer in the height of the pandemic.
We can't, there's that old saying that we're never promised tomorrow, and who knows what can happen. And that's why it's so good that St. Vincent de Paul is here to answer that call.
Yeah. For so many of the families that are in need, by the time they come to us, it's too late. And they are often very hesitant because these are not people who have had to ask for help before. And so we do what we need to do. We do what we do here to reach out and to let people know that there is hope, that this is the place to come to get back on their feet again and to give them some hope for tomorrow.
You serve great meals here. You serve a lot of things, but that's the biggest ingredient that I think St. Vincent de Paul serves is hope. Steve, I want to go back to you for a second. 2020 has been an eye-opening year for all of us in many different ways. What have you learned?
We often say at St. Vincent de Paul that we're the place where people who want to provide assistance and people who need assistance come together on the common ground of God's love. And more than ever before, I've seen people coming together. I've seen the community reach out. People want to be the bridge. They want to help those less fortunate.
And how does that impact a place like St. Vincent de Paul and the people that you serve here?
What's been interesting, Mark, is in listening to people and visiting with people, they're talking about their purpose in life, their meaning in life, what's important to them. Why was I created? What do I want my legacy to be? And I've never seen people as engaged today, these past months, as I have in the 24 years that I've been here.
Sherilyn, you were talking a little bit ago about the fabulous staff here. And I think the one thing that they all have in common is that inherent goodness, right?
Yeah, we know that families need us now more than they ever have before. And so we have a staff that inspires me, inspires all of us daily, all of the time, because they're so willing to go that extra mile. They are so willing to go beyond what you would just normally expect them to do, to reach out to a family, to make sure that they know that there's somebody here who really cares and will walk them through a process where they find hope and stability again. We have a relentless crew here. They just don't know how to give up.
Steve, you must be so inspired by those people every day.
Mark, we never missed a single meal. through all of the challenges that took place, we did not miss a single meal. And it is a testament, as Sherilyn was saying, to just the wonderful people, to the hard work, the dedication. Our clinic had to pivot. All of a sudden, we're doing telemedicine. We did more than 5,000 COVID tests right here in our clinic, right here, that we never even thought of that we would be doing those just months ago. The volunteers working at home, the projects, some of the most innovative and creative things, particularly on the part of young people. I'm just so struck by their generosity and our staffs. Every single day we were open. We were open every day. Other organizations and other businesses are closing, but not St. Vincent de Paul.
Steve, thanks. The willingness to give, the willingness to help. It's all wonderful to hear these stories, but it isn't until you hear from a family that's been helped by St. Vincent de Paul in their own words that you understand what this mission is all about.
My name is Gabriela Montes. I work for St. Vincent de Paul for almost 13 years. I work for 12 years in maintenance, and when I am not here, I work on the flower shop design arrangement. Design arrangements for me is my passion. I saved all money I can for buy my house. I got the new position in Resource Center. I help to the people in the phone for my application for assistance for help to the families. In English and Spanish too. The first case is the family José and María Vera.
Nos casamos y para mí era muy bonita ilusión yo tenía ilusión pues de tener mi casita, se me hacía como jugando, porque así empieza uno, ¿verdad? Y muy pobres, pero muy felices. Yo desde que entré me enamoré de ella, ¿sí? Me gustó en primer lugar por los vidrios, por lo alto, porque para allá tiene declives, pues, más alto, más bajito, así. Pues te digo que me sentí más ancha que angosta, sentí mucho gusto de que íbamos a tener un hogar propio y para allá no andar las criaturas y uno rodando. Sí.
They need a help because Jose, he is sick for too many years ago, and he is in this moment in the hospital. I helped to Maria for doing the application, but we need more documentation. So I wait for almost a month. I no can communicate anymore with the family. So I almost incomplete this application. So my feeling is que say I need a call and not again.
Él era muy trabajador. Desde las 5 de la mañana se iba allá a la parcela y llegaba hasta las 5 o 6 de la tarde. Sembraba maíz, sembraba garbanzo, sembraba de todo. Y fue así como salimos adelante. Pero él ya no siguió trabajando porque ya no pudo. Primero fue cáncer. El 29 de mayo del 2015 le quitaron la próstata porque tenía cáncer. Y luego, pero ya le habían descubierto la miastenia. Y ya de ahí pues ya se fue acabando su cuerpo de él.
It's the last time I called, and Marisol answered the phone. So she told me Maria got a COVID. She's in the hospital for a month. Marisol told me to her dad passed away. Marisol is support to the family, but she lost the job too because she worked before in the kitchen, in the school kitchen. For now, the school is closed. She no had a job for continue support to the family. This is why they called to the St. Vincent de Paul for ask for help.
Ya cuando mis hijos lo metieron a la troca, yo me llegué y le dije, José, ¿vas a volver, verdad? Y dijo él que sí. Le dije, aquí te voy a estar esperando. Yo tengo ahí el videíto. Ya nos dimos un beso y ya se lo llevaron. Y ya no lo volví a ver. Todavía no me cae muy bien el 20 y yo pienso que está allá.
The important is for help to the family, not lose the house, because this house, the Maria, or this family, is very important, because they had this house for too many years. All children, they lived in this house. This is why it's very important for me. I can help, que they no lose the house. When I do the application in this family, never I see this family, because we do it all application in the phone. My feeling is I do the arrangement for give to this family. In the summertime, I had opportunity for see this family. I give this arrangement for give the peace in this family a little bit in this moment.
Pues me siento agradecida y me siento feliz. Y pues agradecida con San Vicente de Paul y con la señora Grau. Pues les gustaría yo decirles que estoy contenta y que sigan adelante con la labor tan grande que están haciendo y que estoy yo de mi parte muy agradecida y agradecido también por esas personas a las que pueden ayudar. Decía mi mamá, cuando consigues dinero, lo pagas, pero el agradecimiento es de por vida. Y sí, y así yo de por vida voy a estar agradecida con San Vicente de Paul y con Gaby y con todas ustedes.
St. Vincent de Paul has a dual mission. We feed, clothe, house, and heal people who have nowhere else to turn for help. And we provide opportunities for our community to find meaning, purpose, and joy in service. Yet perhaps what underlies that mission is most important. St. Vincent de Paul provides a place for each of us to connect, to belong, to become the best versions of ourselves for and with one another. We've been blessed to have many conversations with members of the St. Vincent de Paul family in recent months. And there's a common theme you have all shared, that this time has helped us all to reflect more deeply on the things that matter. And let us know that when we strip everything away, what we have left is our relationships, the love that we share with one another, and the deep connections we have to the people and the world around us. As we pause and reflect, we have so much to be grateful for. The many blessings of the people in our lives who continue to inspire us and fill us with hope. We sent a package in advance of our event today, and now I invite you to open it. And as you do that, know that while we aren't all physically together, that at this very moment, people from across the community, our country, and our world are sharing in this experience with you, carefully opening that package to reveal what's inside. And for those of you who registered in the last few days and you didn't get your package yet, know that it is on its way to you right now. As you open it, you will find a special gift from all of us at St. Vincent de Paul. This gift is the opportunity to send a special note to someone you care about, to be a reflection of hope in our world, just like Gabby was to Maria in the story that we shared with you. And as you contemplate who you will send that note to, we offer you two choices. First, you can choose to send the note to someone who gave you hope, whether recently or in the past, as an expression of your gratitude. Or you can choose to send the note to someone who you know right now is in need of hope, as an expression of your love and encouragement. So two choices. Send this note to someone who gave you hope as an expression of your gratitude, or to someone you know who is in need of hope as an expression of your love and encouragement. And we invite you to do that, to take the time to write that note in the next week before Thanksgiving or sometime during the holiday season. In our world of electronic communications, perhaps there is no more powerful way to express our deepest sentiments than in a handwritten note. Fancy words aren't necessary, just share something from your heart. And when you do, know that when you send that note out in the world, you are adding your reflections of hope to all the members of the St. Vincent de Paul family who are doing this alongside you. This is what our world needs right now. This is what we all need. And perhaps that note you write becomes someone's special treasure that they hold forever, taking it out again and again and again to be inspired by your words and your love. This is St. Vincent de Paul's gift to you, to be a reflection of hope to someone you care about, and to be reminded that these reflections of hope and joy, love and gratitude are all around us in large and small ways for the taking. Each of us has the opportunity to be that reflection of hope to one another every day. Bless you for the many ways you reflect hope back to all of us at St. Vincent de Paul all year long. We treasure your friendship, your generosity, your goodness, your love, your kindness, your compassion. It is all of you who make our work possible, and you who fill us with hope and strength and courage every day. Blessings to you and your family during this special season. Thank you for all that you make possible.
Hope for me is being able to see our patients smile again.
Hope to me is someone who cares right in your neighborhood.
Hope for me is a hot cup of coffee.
Hope to me is having my new uniform. Hope to me is having my favorite meal.
Hope to me is fresh salad grown in the ground to feed families.
Hope to me is to ensure that every family can have a meal this Thanksgiving.
Hope to me is a shower and a pair of clean jeans.
Hope to me is having my own pillow to lay my head on.
Hope to me is furniture to make a house a home.
Esperanza para mí es la bondad de un extraño que no se rindió hasta ayudarme.
Hopefully, that made you think a little bit about what this is all about. Here at St. Vincent de Paul, feed, clothe, house, and heal. 4 simple words that mean the world to the people here that need it the most. And there's an old saying in life, and I think it's true. Some of you might think it's corny. I even think it's corny sometimes, but it's really true. what you put out into the world is what you get back. What you reflect is what you get back. The hope you give is the satisfaction that you can receive. I pray that next year we can all be back at the Phoenician enjoying breakfast together. But until then, blessings to you and your family, and thank you so much for your generosity to St. Vincent de Paul.